It deals with the form of guilt, actually, that one requires in terms of this legislation. Because it's similar to what we have in the poker legislation. We get reference to a person that knows or ought reasonably to have known. You will note that Section 4.1 doesn't have the words intentional or unlawful. The indictment also does not, because the section doesn't mention it. Section 2 deals with the form of guilt. So what should be proved is that the accused knew or ought reasonably to have known. In this instance, we submit that if the court accepts the evidence as adduced, then they all knew that this is what they were doing. JOSHLIN was being sold for the purpose of exploitation. I neglected to say one thing, and it might be because I wasn't looking at my head, but when one deals with Section 11, my Lord, then this is usually, and that's on page 4. It was also in the indictment, my Lord, but just on the purpose, this is generally referred to as the defences section because it says when it is not an offence. In other words, if the victim consents to, or the parent or the caregiver, the guardian who has control over, consents to the intended act or the intended exploitation, that is no defence. That consent does not give or substantiate a defence thereto. A second leg of that also, my Lord, is that it's not necessary for the intended exploitation to actually happen. We only need to prove the purpose of exploitation, and that is what Section 11 in essence says.
Well, the indictment itself sets it out as well.
Yes, my Lord.
And
indeed,
at the time when the charge was put on the 3rd of March,
yes,
I didn't look at the act before that, and I found it strange that the indictment was drafted in the way it was. Now I know.
Thank you, my Lord.
Because I recall you reading it out, and I'm saying to myself,
what am I missing?
What am I missing here? Why is the indictment put the way it is?
Indeed, my Lord.
Yeah.
But that has, because through the years of cases and developing, and this piece of legislation was written a long time ago, and there were so many different insets and additions. There were even amendments to the legislation. So yes, it's been a while. It's come a long while, but yes.
If we were to keep a score, okay, defense versus state in their argument right now, we have Swannepoel, or should I say the state, leading, okay, with 1, while the defense is at 0, and they're only at 0 because they haven't yet had a chance to speak. But basically, why am I saying that the score so far is 1 for the state? Because you know what? Swannepoel has educated my Lord, and this is what the judge wants. The judge wants the arguments to be engaging, back and forth conversation, and that's why you hear his demeanor. He's very open, he's listening, he wants them to argue their points and explain it to him. Like, of course, he's a grade 5 student, and that is why he says he doesn't want she said, he said. This is an argument, is not about the evidence. At this point, he wants to hear the arguments from the state, and I think she did a phenomenal job in this portion where she is explaining to my Lord, Judge Ndim Nathan, that listen, whether or not Kelly is the parent of JOSHLIN and she consented to the act of this transaction of slavery, of selling JOSHLIN. Listen, I can't get used to saying such a sentence. Whether or not Kelly consented to it, it doesn't take away the fact that it is a crime. Whether or not Kelly consented, or the parent consented, or the guardian consented, aka Buta, it does not take away the fact that this is a crime and they will be prosecuted for it. And yeah, well done. I think that was well explained. Let me know if you guys, if that's the same thing you understood with what she was explaining, because she is saying they are guilty, because you are guilty if you knew, and they all knew, not some, they all knew this is what they were doing, aka Rens included. They all knew this is what they were doing, that JOSHLIN was being sold for exploitation. Again, guys, this for me, this is very, very difficult to say because JOSHLIN is not a toy. JOSHLIN is not an equipment. JOSHLIN at the time was a beautiful 6-year-old girl with beautiful hair, beautiful eyes, beautiful skin. And that should never be a qualifier for being a commodity. Girls her age should be playing outside. Just like Buddha says, she was playing outside and he told her to come inside, stop playing in the sun. That's what 6-year-old girls are supposed to be doing, playing outside with their friends. It doesn't matter if they're in an informal settlement or if they're in a gated community. At the age of 6, they just need to be playing, trusting in their parents, trusting in the adults around them. This was not JOSHLIN's experience. JOSHLIN was exploited for the benefit of her mother and her friends because of their junkie lifestyle, because they needed substances, because that money was going to give them a high. I don't know what kind of a high they were going for. That involved Kelly saying, yes, let's sell JOSHLIN. What mother does that? There's a comment that I received today and it says, I don't know how she got dressed today and decided I'm going to look my best, okay? I'm going to put on my Sunday best. I'm going to lay my hair down. I'm going to lay my edges and I'm going to make sure my hair is looking amazing. And I'm going to dress in this blue shirt that I haven't worn to court yet. And I'm just going to sit in court and listen as they speak about what I did to my daughter. The comment says, I wouldn't have even been able to get dressed if my child was missing. Listen, Kelly and Buddha went to sleep on the 19th of February 2024. Not just they went into bed. No, they slept. They fell fast asleep. Not knowing. Well, they probably knew. They were happy with what they did. They were satisfied with this act that they did. That, hey, JOSHLIN has provided a means for them, a financial means for them. In Kelly's words, I never knew my child would make me this famous. Everything is about Kelly. Nothing is about JOSHLIN. Not one sentence have we heard quoted where we hear of Kelly the mother. Poor JOSHLIN. Drop flowers emoji in the comment section for JOSHLIN. Someone also left a comment. I will read it. Yeah, let me go ahead and read it. It's a little bit long, but it is about Captain Lombard. I want you guys to look at Captain Lombard's position in the courtroom. Take a look at Captain Lombard. And this comment says, I watched today and when Prosecutor Swannepoel said JOSHLIN's not the victim, so many of us cried. I firmly believe Captain Lombard and his team will continue to investigate. Captain Lombard took an interest in the case by phoning the officer in charge of the investigation then and went to Saldanha Bay on his own time to see if he could assist even before his team was officially assigned. The fact that he spent the long weekend working with the prosecutors and is sitting with them shows this is real for him. The police usually hand over the information they have obtained to the prosecutors and move on to another case. He was at the trial every day. I pray they find JOSHLIN. This will be the first prize. I agree. Finding JOSHLIN will be the first prize. The second prize would be to at least find out the truth of who she was sold to. And they need to pay the price because they haven't brought themselves forward yet. Think about it. Whoever has JOSHLIN has not come forward. And the third prize, ladies and gentlemen, is those three definitely need several life sentences. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I thought this comment was intriguing. And yes, Captain Lombard has been inside Phakathi, the courtroom, the entire time. And we heard Prosecutor Swannepoel say that the arguments were prepared in a joint effort between Captain Lombard and the state. How many times have you heard that when it comes to cases in these courts? But I'm going to end this video right here. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you definitely on our next highlight. Bye.